let's make a small safety kit for our day pack. Let's go. An emergency kit is a small, lightweight bag that can easily fit into your day pack, fanny pack, or glove compartment. It's designed for those unexpected situations where you might find yourself stranded in the forest for a night or two. All right, here we are at the Dollarama store in West Edmonton Mall. Yeah, I love West Edmonton Mall. As Canadians, we love our malls, let me tell you. You know why? You can guess, because shopping in minus 40 sucks. Inside here, 22 degrees. I love it. Anyways, today we're going to go into the Dollarama store and see if we can pick out all of the things that we would need, or at least most of the things that we would need in an emergency kit for cheap. Let's go see. Okay, well, that went pretty well. I think I got everything that I needed, or pretty darn close, and probably duplicates of everything that I needed. But let's put it all together when I'm back at my studio and see if we can fit it all into one little package for a great price. All right, Magic Studio. A list here that I'll put up on the side so you can keep track of all these items. There was a few that the store didn't have, and we'll go through those afterwards, because I bet they're items that you have around home, no problem. Okay, let's take a look. All right, let's get some scissors out. This is my little Roxxon multi-tool that has scissors instead of pliers. I love that. You know, most of the time you go for a knife, it's like, what do you need your knife for? You're opening boxes, you're taking off clips or something like that, right? So you don't really need a knife. What you really need is scissors. All right, that's our little holder. We're going to see if that'll hold everything yet. So everything is nowadays comes in horrible packaging. Is ridiculous. We're going to take everything apart. We're going to make it as absolutely small as possible. All right, here we go. Okay, so here, actually, I'm gonna be looking down a lot. Let's get this hair back behind me. I don't need it in my face the whole time. Okay, so there. Hopefully, now I can see things. All right, so the thing is, you want it to fit into a really small container. Like, really, the smaller the better, because like otherwise you're not gonna pack it around, right? It's gotta fit in the bottom of your pack without taking up space. You know, I really like this size. This size is about kind of like a water bottle size, you know, so it can fit in different side pouches and things like that. And anyways, yeah, just keep it as small as possible, or else you're not going to pack it around. Small and light. So there's certain things in this pack here that we're going to want to take less of. That's for sure. All right, like number one, we got this. This was just a ground sheet. All right, this is just plastic. Ground sheet plastic, and man, this is waterproof. Like, when you go to build your shelter, because you got to stay the night, you're going to be in love, absolutely in love with this. But certainly we don't need this much. So let's see how much we do need. That's all I need. Enough to keep me dry, whether I'm laying, you know, on something or need it above. And that can go right in the bottom of the bag, because it really goes nice and thin and doesn't take up too much room. All right, another thing we're going to need, we got matches. Sorry, that was something I found somewhere else. I was very surprised that the dollar store didn't have it. I had to go to my own old home hardware store, which we love home hardware, don't we? They always have everything. But maybe not quite as cheap as the dollar store, but I certainly can recommend home hardware anytime. They had one of these plastic waterproof match holders. And I tell you, I really like these. And you say, oh, why don't you just bring a lighter along? Well, you know, I do. I have lighters in absolutely everything, every single jacket and everything, and that's what I'll be using. But let's per se, when you go into an emergency pack, you want it to be waterproof matches, you know, what matches in a waterproof container, because this has no shelf life. Eventually, in a lighter, that gas can just evaporate out of there, and this is going to last absolutely forever. So there we go. We got that now. All right, we've also got some cordage. Now, some rope. Now, I tried to get a pretty thin gauge because you don't need a whole lot of strength, right? Like, so you don't be getting thick rope because you don't need, what we're going for everything that's as light as possible. We need everything to lay as flat as possible to get everything into one little bag. All right, so a little bit of cordage. Not much, nice and strong, thin gauge. All right, what else we're gonna have in here? This takes up so little space. This is absolutely wonderful. It's dental floss. And you think, oh, it's an emergency kit. Is it an emergency to keep your dental floss your teeth? No, but this is, it's just fantastic. It's like thread. You have that with needles, and you could, sew yourself up. You could use this for a lot of different things. Like, it's actually fairly strong for its super thin gauge, and I just like it way better than thread. So that's what I suggest. Take dental floss instead of thread. Now you'll see here that I got this little sewing kit because it was like $1.25 or something like that, right? So I'm not fussy on it. Thought, yeah, okay, that's great. We'll use something in there, I'm sure. But we'll definitely probably make it smaller at the same time too. So let's see what we got in here for $1.50. And how we can save space as well. Now, when you're putting something together like that, don't be scared to use a little bit of tape. So we've got a couple of needles, a couple of safety pins. Roll those all together. Okay, we're going to keep them right in there, and it takes up, pretty much zero space. All right, so we got matches, some needles, some safety pins. Remember, when you're making your safety kit, you might think, oh, you're not bringing much along. You don't want to bring much. You want it to be as little as possible, really as little as possible, because this pack is got to be as small as you can so that it's handy and around for yourself. And also, this is an emergency pack that's going to get you through a couple of days. Okay, it's not a bug out pack or anything like that. This is, I got lost and it looks like I'm going to have to spend the night. It looks like I fell down, I hurt myself. I'm not going to be able to walk out tonight. I'm going to have to take care of myself, or maybe I can walk out tomorrow, or maybe somebody will come in and find me tomorrow morning. But this is a 1 or 2 night type of thing. So you don't need a lot of anything. All right, so far we got that. This is what I chose for a knife, because in the good old dollar store, you can get these little ceramic knives for cheap. And I tell you, that is a sharp knife. And I'm not gonna bring a sharpener along. So I don't need a regular steel knife. I can have a ceramic knife like this. Ceramic knives are known to be, impossibly hard to sharpen, but that's okay. I'm not going to sharpen it. Again, I want it sharp now. When it gets dull, I don't care. It's, this is disposable kind of stuff. So that's going to be a perfect little solution for me. And all I'm going to need to do there, it didn't come with a sheath, unfortunately. So I'm just going to take some cardboard or some cloth and wrap it around there, and then it'll be able to be in the bag without potentially cutting anything. Flagging tape. It's almost a big item, and if you need to, take this down. This is taking up a lot of space right here, right? All right, we got that wrapped up into a nice, and you can see it goes thin, nice and thin. This is bulky, takes up too much space. Let's get that in there. All right. Now, flagging tape, that's marking tape, and that's really important, because when you're trying to find your way out, I've made a video on what to do if you're getting confused, you don't know where you are, potentially lost. Link that right here. You need flagging tape, and that's going to help you. So we got a little bit of that. We got a little bit of that in there. Now, also duct tape. I found duct tape that comes in these teeny little rolls for cheap. Okay, so again, we'll take one. That's a bandage or whatever in itself as well. Talking about bandages, of course you'd want to put a little gauze on there, any kind of wound, a little bit of gauze before you wrap it up, right? and you've got to disinfect. Now this is a pretty large bottle for disinfectant, and I'd like to have something that was half this size, a quarter of this size, and I'll be looking for something like that. In fact, what I've got right here is some eyeglass spray, you know, that you get all the time. And look at that nice size difference. I'm not going to need this much. I'm going to need this much. All right, I found this. I don't need that. Who cares about that? This was a great find. So these are little crazy glues. You say, oh, crazy glues, what do you need those for? Are you doing crafts out there? No, but crazy glue will glue anything on, right? And crazy glue will glue your skin together. So maybe the sewing isn't going to go so good, but the crazy glue can help glue your skin together or whatever else you need. And we don't have to take this whole thing. Again, I was so glad to find this little teeny tube. That's all we need. We're looking at a 1 or 2 time application. After that, they always dry up and they're no good anyways. Boop, goes in there. All right. Boy, that made me happy to find those little guys like that. You know what else you need? A candle. A candle. Once you get a fire, you get anything going, you need a candle. You don't have to feed that fire all the time. These candles can burn for a while. I'd like it actually better if it was a little bit longer one, but these tea candles are always so inexpensive, and so I will throw a couple of those in there. And this is just actually another tape. So in which case I could lose the duct tape and keep this tape. This is like a medical tape, but I'm gonna in this instance, I think I can keep them both. I think that's gonna be good enough. Now, this is a goofy little thing, eh? You say, what in the heck is that? Well, that is, guess what? A mirror. And you say, why in the world do you want a mirror? So you can be out there and make yourself look good for when they come to pick you up or when they finally find you and you're lost or wounded? No, it's to signal airplanes. People don't know how you catch this, you glint the sun on there. Cling, 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 cling. Hey, what was that? And people are looking. People are already looking for you, right? Let's say it's the next day and they're looking for you. You hear that play and you start doing this. It's going to see you. You do not stand out in the forest, believe me. You need a mirror. Bring a mirror. This one's double-sided, so I get double the mirror. It's perfect. Really happy for that. All right. Now, what else did we have? Oh, can't believe it. You can buy in the dollar store a compass for $1.50, and it's a regular compass there too. You know, where you'll find you can spot your way through it this way and everything. That's going to keep you going in a straight line. Compass could be smaller. It's a little bit of a larger one. It's the only one they had. It was $1.50. So, all right. So then, a couple of things they didn't have. I was a little bit disappointed. They didn't have any tinfoil. You got some tinfoil in your drawer at home, right? I mean, you don't have to go to a store or make any kind of special expense. I don't think I'll list this as an expense, just because everybody's got tinfoil. If you don't have a little bit around already to rob from. And again, there's no way we're taking this whole thing. They say, why do you take tinfoil? Tinfoil? It's so funny. We throw away tinfoil, you take it off your baked potatoes and you just chuck it away. Tinfoil in the bush is so awesome. It is so vastly valuable. It's how you're going to do your cooking. It's, you know, you get a little bit of this, you wrap your fish in it, and then there you are cooking. You can put other things with it, and then it all kind of marinades and cooks together. Whatever else you can put, like you have to have tinfoil. Let me tell you. See about this. We're going to cut ourselves a couple of sheets of tinfoil at least, because that's the other great thing. Tinfoil doesn't take up hardly any space. Or aluminum foil, I guess. Aluminum foil. I always laugh every time you ever hear the British people say it. They say aluminium. Aluminium? First time I heard that, I'm like, what the heck? I had to look it up. It's some new kind of precious metal or something. It's made of aluminium. Aluminum, we say over here in North America. Nice little piece there. I'm even going to take 2. Because they just fold up so nice and easy. As in taking up no space and being having a very high value. That's what tinfoil is. It takes up no space, it takes up no weight, and when you get out in the bush and you're trying to cook something, you'll be like, oh, thank God for tinfoil. It's the best. Tinfoil, don't forget about it. Goes in there like nothing. Now, this I debated on. And I think it cost me a few bucks too, because I didn't find it. If I was at the dollar store, I would have felt better about it, but it was an emergency blanket for $8. I mean, not that I want to be so cheap that I don't spend $8, but it's going to take up space in there, and in my experience, now I've never had to spend the night in one of these before. You can't cook with this, or it would have worked for tinfoil too, wouldn't it? In my experience, this does very, very little. Now, I've never had to stay the night out with it before. I've just, climbed in there for a little while to see if it would help keep me warm. And it didn't seem to. So I was always a little skeptical on these and thought, they're probably more, it's a little, I don't know. Anybody out there, this is a great thing for you guys to comment on. Anybody out there had to use one of these and said that, yeah, this has definitely, saved my life. I still shivered away and was cold as heck, but I made it through the night, and I know I probably wouldn't have if it wasn't for my space blanket. In any case, at the very least, if I was to get a good big fire going, and I'm sleeping on beside that fire, I'd want to in behind me at least, put this kind of reflective. Maybe I could reflect some of that heat back towards myself. Branches over the top. Anyways, it's definitely reflective. It definitely is. It's going to keep you slightly warmer. And, I guess I just can't get away from it. I just think that might be worthwhile having. All right, let's look at some things that are definitely worthwhile having. And I didn't find this in the dollar store either, although I bet lots of your dollar stores will have it, or you'll have it around in your tackle box, right? I mean, who doesn't have a few spare hooks? And we're just talking a few. Nobody's bringing tackle along with us. So, again, we'll put it in one of these other containers, but we'll find ourselves a couple of our favorite hooks. More than a couple, because you know how hooks are, you always lose it. All right. Fishing line. Then you need a little bit of fishing line. Now, fishing line is another thing. You don't have to go out and buy a whole thing of fishing line, that's for sure. You probably just have a little in your tackle box, right? Here's a good idea for your fishing line. We're just going to wrap it around our tin foil. When you get out in the bush, you'll be wrapping it around a stick. Putting a little hook on it, finding a grub, chucking it out into that little creek. All right, there we go. So you can see that takes up zero space or weight. We love fishing lines. What else do we got here? Galvanized wire. What in the heck you want that for? This is 10-pound galvanized wire. You can buy snare wire as well, but this comes in this nice big thing of it. So definitely, once again, this is not something we need a lot of. So we're just going to take enough to make, you could even pre-make your snares if you want, but you're going to need a little bit then plus a loop, and you're going to be trying to catch rabbits and squirrels is what it's for. So you don't need very long ones. You put out where you see squirrels are running, or maybe even make a run, and then you put them there, and you just need a little bit to wrap around and then up and make your loop. And man, you catch a squirrel, you could, boy, when you're out in the bush and hungry, that could be a really good thing. Now, although I said that this is for only one night, this is one of those items that if it did turn out to be multiple nights and you could catch yourself something to eat, boy, that would really make all the difference in the world. Not to mention this is wire fastener. So that's going to come in handy in a ton of different ways. We have the dental floss, right? And we have some cordage, and now we actually have some wire. We need that too. So we're going to take a length of this. So folks, as you can see, this is going to make lots of kits. It's really hard to even come up with a price on this because I've got so much left over. Now let's close this baby up. Look at that. Look at that. I should weigh it. I don't have a weigher. It's a pound. It's 2 pounds. It's 2 pounds, I betcha. You know, about the size of a drink container. That's a perfect size, you know. You're gonna bring that around. It fits in your glove box. Fits in the bottom of your pack. You know, you could put a carabiner on it and just have it hanging on you if you wanted. You know, it's just one of those emergency things that I guess, you know, it's not something you'd carry around all the time, but you need it on you. You know, throw it in your day pack, throw it in your glove box. Make sure that you have one of these on you. And then, you know, when you buy, like I can easily make another one. Make 2, make 3. Have them around. One in your truck, one in your bag, one in your car. That's all right, folks. That's how you make an emergency kit. I mean, that could save your life. You could be out in the bush and lost for a night or two, and they'll come pick you up, and you're there wrapped up in your space blanket, a nice big fire going, you know, sewing and knitting, and you got a shelter all done. Chawing on a squirrel. You'd be like, oh, hey, glad you guys came to pick me up. Just come back on Thursday. I'll be good for a couple more days. And there you go. Hey, you know what, folks? I've actually got a few of these already, and I'm probably going to make a couple more. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to give this one away. The next person to send me in a good Moose Whisperer story, any hunting and outdoor adventure story, you can send it to me. You had a near-death experience, you've seen the biggest deer, elk, moose, whatever you did. If it's outdoors and it's fun and exciting, send the story in to me. Let's share it with the world. And hey, you'll get yourself a free emergency kit. Thanks for watching.